Welcome to Add a Little Dazzle. We're so glad you've joined us today as we get ready to create the beautiful Autumn Accents Metal Embossed candle jar. Today we are going to start off by using My Digital Studio to create the beautiful sleeve that you see around the candle. And so to begin with, we're going to go here to Custom, and we are going to choose 11 by 8.5 landscape, and we are going to click on Create Project, and we are going to name our project Autumn Candle Jar, and I am going to click OK. Now here is my page, and so the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to come over here to File, and I'm going to scroll down to Page Setup, and I want to make sure that I set all my margins to 0.167, and then I'm going to click OK. Then I'm going to come up over here to the resource palette, and I'm going to click on Access Background Papers. I'm going to make sure that I check off Add as Page Layer, and I'm going to click Browse, and I'm going to scroll down, and I have Designer Kits already open, and I found Candlelight Christmas Designer Series paper, and I'm going to click. So you're going to scroll down and choose Candlelight Christmas 12. Double click on it. The candlelight image has transparency. Do you want to continue? Yes. And you are going to see that this little square comes out right here. It is important that you check Add as Page Layer, as this will allow you to change the color, and this is the way you're going to do it. So now that it's highlighted, you're going to double click on it. You're going to left click, drag it over, and then left click, drag on the right hand corner down. There you go. Click OK, and then you see that it is moved over. Left click on the image, drag it over till it fills your entire paper, and then you're going to notice that it's out of the area. Not a problem, just come in and fix it accordingly. And the main thing you want to do is to make sure that you fill your entire working area. And so once I've done that, I'm going to come over here to the right hand side. Okay, it's already there. So I'm going to come here to the right hand side, and I'm going to scroll down to where it says Recolor, and I'm going to double click on it, and it's going to open up the color palette, and I'm going to choose chocolate chip for this. I'm going to click OK, and it's applying the color, and you're going to see what happens here. Now I do want to make note that I needed to use this green because when I tried to change the color on the red one, it didn't do well. It changed more into a black, so that's something you'll have to experiment with. Now the design is in chocolate chip, and it is beautiful, and it's ready to be printed. So all you're going to do is come over here to File, click on Print. Do you want to save it? Yes, you do. And then you're going to go here to Print Options, check. Make sure you have it set to the correct printer, and then you hit print. Now one thing I do want to make you aware of is that this will be printed on the Add a Little Dazzle transparency paper, but this paper only works for the inkjet printer. So make sure that you're using an inkjet printer, and then go ahead and print it out. Let it dry for about 5 minutes, and in the second part of this video we'll bring it all together. See you there. Bye bye. Welcome to part 2 of the Autumn Accents Metal Embossed Candle Jar. Here is what your jar will look like when it is completely done, and as you can see, it is beautiful, and the detail from the candlelight Christmas Designer Series paper comes through beautifully on the transparency paper. And I love that with My Digital Studio and with the transparency paper you can create these in whatever color you want. And so now we're going to go ahead and start putting this all together. Studio, and I've printed it on my Add a Little Dazzle transparency sheet, and as you can see here, this is what it looks like. Now this is actually a white copy of it because I've already cut mine, but I do want to show you what it looks like, and you can see that it has that beautiful shine. Now I do want to tell you something. When I cut this with my paper cutter, I had a dull blade, and when I had a dull blade, it lifted off that ink and it messed up the transparency paper. So you want to make sure that you have a blade on your paper cutter that is not dull. If you do, then I would recommend that you either change it or you use the guillotine, and that will give you a nice smooth cut. And on this one, I've cut it into a 3¼ inch piece, and I can actually create 2 candle wraps from one sheet. Now you're gonna notice there's a little bit of a gap there. That's that border, that page set. Mine is, my printer cannot print without any margins, and so that's the smallest I can go, but it really doesn't matter. And so here is my candle jar. I've already peeled off the label, and we are going to take this and we are going to simply wrap it around and attach it. Okay, I want to mention something about the transparency sheets to make sure that you understand. These are smear proof, meaning the ink will dry and absorb into this paper, and as you can see, I'm rubbing it and it will not smear. Normally, if you print on a glossy paper, it will smear, the ink will not dry, but this is specially formulated to use with an inkjet printer and it will. But one thing, it is not waterproof. This is very different from our water resistant adhesive sheets. This is not waterproof, so if it gets wet, it will smear. I'm going to take the corner, I'm just going to bend it back and peel it right off. Place it exactly where I want it. Roll again, and attach it on the back. And I am done. So now we're going to go ahead and create our wrap here and our leaf and bring it all together. Okay, I've gone ahead and I've attached a piece of tulle ribbon in Early Espresso around the jar. Now we need to create the leaf. And in order to do that, I'm going to take the outrageously orange metal sheet, and it is available in a 5x7 piece for $1.25. And so what I did was I took that piece and I cut it into a 3.5-inch square. Then I took my die, Autumn's Accents die, and I placed it right here on this one. I placed it color side down so that when I run it through the Big Shot, the marks that are on the cutting plates will not show up on the metal sheet colored side. And so once I did that, I took it and I placed it inside my Lacy Brocade Impressions folder, and my leaf looks like this. It looks absolutely gorgeous. Metal sheet leaf, go outward motion. And you don't have to sand it completely. You just want to add a little bit of that rustic look to it. And there you go. Beautiful piece. And so now what you're going to do is you're going to take your 1/16 handheld hole punch, and you are going to punch a little hole right there. Now you're going to take this wine charm right here, and I'm just going to run it through right there. And then I am going to take that and I am going to attach it right here around the knot of my ribbon. I have now attached the leaf to my ribbon, and I'm going to create the little sentiment that I have on it. And I'm going to be using the So Grateful from the Apothecary Art stamp set found in the Stampin' Up! Catalog. And so I've taken a piece of Very Vanilla cardstock in my So Grateful stamp, and I'm inking it in Early Espresso, and I'm just going to stamp straight down, do not rock. And with the new classic ink, what you need to do is let it dry or heat set it, and then once you've done that, then I want to use my little framelits to create a banner, and I want to use this one right here. So I'm going to take out my little banner and I am going to place it right here. Now whenever I'm cutting with my framelits, my multi-purpose platform must always be closed. And then I place one of the cutting pads on top. Then I place my cardstock on top. Then I take my little framelit and I place it exactly where I want it. And then I put my other cutting plate on top and I run it through the Big Shot. It's that easy. The main thing you need to remember is that you're always going to do it on a closed multi-purpose platform. And I like doing it this way because this allows me to have control of where I'm die cutting so that my wording is exactly where I want it to be. Now once you have done that, then you are going to take your piece and you are going to distress it with Crumb Cake Classic ink, and you're just going to go all over it, and it's going to just give it a little bit of a distressed look. And I've gone ahead and I've placed some stamping dimensionals on the back of this little banner, and now I'm going to bring my jar that has my leaf on it and I'm going to position it as I like. So just find where you want it to go. It can hang off the leaf or not hang off the leaf. Here's mine. And then I want to add a finishing touch right here. In order to do that, I'm going to use these buttons from the Naturals collection. And what I've done is I've taken this little brown one and I've taken some linen thread and I've already run it through it. And here's my little piece already done. And so now what I'm going to do, because I want it to stay on firmly, is I'm just going to lift it like that so that I can see what I'm doing. And I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue right there. And that is going to allow me to hold that button right in place. And then these little pieces that stray, you can just take it off. There you go. Okay, so now I've repositioned everything, cleaned up any little stray pieces, and my candle is ready to go. And this is just a beautiful, simple, inexpensive gift that I'm actually going to give these to my children's teachers this year for Thanksgiving. If you enjoy our products, our videos, and teaching style, we invite you to check out the Add a Little Dazzle Virtual Club, where we share exclusive projects with our community of crafters every month. We welcome Stampin' Up! Customers, demonstrators, and international customers. We have a program to fit everybody. You can learn more about our amazing program at www.addalittledazzle.com, and you can also order all your Add a Little Dazzle and Stampin' Up! Products there. If you have any questions, please feel free to email me at monica@addalittledazzle.com. Thanks, and have a dazzling day.